Good morning or good afternoon. It depends on the times that you're watching this presentation. I would like to begin by saying a huge thank you, many thanks to the organizers of this international congress for allowing me to participate in it. I would like to begin my presentation, which is the role of service-based learning in English as a foreign language, a case study regarding the world of translation and interpretation studies and translation training, by insisting on thanking people behind the organization of this Congress. I would like to begin by offering a brief introductory approach to this study. The application of service-based learning in translation programs seems to be particularly valuable because it encourages the development of essential soft skills, which are not typically emphasized in traditional translation curricula. These include communication skills, problem-solving skills, time management skills, and the ability to navigate the complexities of client relationships. Furthermore, students are engaged in service-based learning projects, gain insights into the professional standards required in the industry, such as maintaining quality under pressure, delivering contextually appropriate translation, and adhering to ethical codes of conduct. By incorporating these real-world translation projects into the curriculum, um, service-based learning fosters a deeper understanding of how cultural and contextual factors shape translation practices. For instance, students working on projects for non-profit organizations may encounter the challenge of balancing linguistic accuracy with cultural appropriateness, of requiring them to navigate ethical considerations and adjust the translations to meet specific needs of diverse communities. These experiences allow students to reflect on the role of translators' future translations within society, considering not only linguistic precision, but also the potential for the work to influence social change. This paper explores the potential of our service-based learning as a transformative model for translation, education, and formation. It aims to assess the impacts of this particular methodology on students' translation skills, intercultural awareness, and professional competencies through a mixed method study based on the case of 35 translation students enrolled in an English language as a foreign language course, which was then translated into service-based learning course. This research investigates the benefits, challenges, and opportunities associated with integrating this particular methodology into translation programs. The study examines real-world translation projects and their outcomes with a focus on understanding how this particular methodology of service-based learning prepares students, if it prepares students at all, for the complexities of the translation profession while promoting ethical professionalism. This research, we hope this research contributes to a deeper understanding of the pedagogical value of this methodology in translation and training. And we also hope that this case highlights the potential to equip students with these skills, which are necessary to succeed in an increasingly globalized and culturally diverse translation landscape. Um, let's talk about the methodology that we employed in this case study. This methodology adopts mixed method research design to investigate the integration of service-based learning into translation training. The research focuses on assessing the impacts of this particular methodology on students' translation skills, intercultural competence, professional development, and the challenges and opportunities it presents within translation programs. The methodology is divided in several key steps, which we're going to be talking in the following slides. Our participants, 35 translation students enrolled in an English language course at the university in the south of Madrid, were selected as participants. The course was specifically and especially designed to integrate real-world translation tasks for local non-profit organizations, community projects, and government bodies, all in an environment in which we made the students participate into these translations that were tasks that instructors designed for them. The designing and implementation, these service-based learning course is structured around the integration of real-world projects into translation curriculum. The students translated materials for supposedly external clients, in reality anonymous members of the teaching staff acting as real clients, including no-profit organizations, community-based projects, and government agencies. The course design includes the following key components: project selection, guidance and support, and feedback mechanisms. We then collected data for analyzing the results obtained in this service-based learning project. Data collection occurred in three stages to ensure comprehensive understanding of the student's experience and development over the course. Pre-course surveys, prior to the start of the particular methodology that we are implementing in this case, the students completed a pre-course survey to assess their baseline skills, so we understood their competencies, including linguistic abilities, intercultural awareness, and professional attitudes. Ongoing feedback and ongoing key observations by the staff during the course. Instructors regularly monitor students' progress through feedback and draft translation, class discussions, and observations of client-students interactions. Post-survey, post-course survey. At the conclusion of the course, the students completed a post-course survey to evaluate their experience with this particular methodology. And then finally, an analysis of translation. A detailed analysis of the translations produced during the course was conducted by the members of the staff. These included a comparison of initial draft and final translation based on several criteria, such as accuracy, cultural appropriateness, clarity, and adherence to professional standards. We also analyzed all the data gathered in this project based on service-based learning in translation studies. We had a mixed method approach in which we applied quantitative analysis, thinking about the surveys, post and pre and post test. Also, qualitative analysis in the interviews, discussions, and analysis of translations. And then a comparative analysis, a comparison between client and translation that was conducted to evaluate the impacts of external feedback on student learning. However, these projects have some limitations. While this methodology seems to be, and we designed the methodology carefully to capture a comprehensive understanding of the impacts of service-based learning in translation programs, there are a few limitations that we need to consider. First of all, is the size of the sample. We couldn't obtain a bigger sample, bigger participant data, bigger than 35, which is one class group. These may limit general visibility of the findings to more diverse student populations. Another limitation is the self-reporting bias. Service report responses and interviews are based on self-reported data, which may introduce bias or inaccuracies in students' perceptions of their own skill development. And also external factors. The success of translation tasks may be influenced by various external factors, such as complexity of the materials provided by clients, which may not be entirely within the control of the students. In this chart is the sequencing and timing of this project, which was conducted around one whole term in 14 weeks. Now we can talk about the results of this project, the results that we obtained from this project. Result number one goes around the idea of improving translation skills. And it seems to be the most significant finding from the study, because 85% of the students reported improved accuracy in terminology selection. 78% of the students stated that they had a deeper understanding of cultural needs of the target audience, and 82% of the students indicated that they had become more adept at adapting translation to diverse contexts. In addition, the external, so to say, because we mentioned in the methodology description that these external clients were all the members of the staff, so to say, all the teachers or the professors in uni acting as a client. So this external client feedback on the translation produced by students corroborated these findings. Clients all the members of the staff, additional teachers, rated 88% of the final translation highly for cultural relevance, clarity, and accuracy. The second result is cemented and grounded on the idea of development of professional competencies. And in this case, we can argue and we can say that service-based learning proved effective in enhancing and developing students' understanding of the professional demands of the translational field. 85% of the students reported gaining a deeper understanding of professional translation demands, including how to manage client expectations, how to meet deadlines, and how to uphold ethical standards in translation practices. The frequent interactions with clients help students to develop better communication skills, with 90% of the students feeling more confident in discussing the translation with clients, handling feedback, and negotiating deadlines. Instructors observed noticeable growth in students' ability to manage feedback more constructively. Our third result goes around the idea of enhancing intercultural competence, which was for us a key objective and a goal in this project. A key goal of integrating this particular methodology into translation programs was and continues to be to foster intercultural awareness, which is an essential skill for translators. In this area, 70% of the students reported that they developed a deeper understanding of how cultural nuances affect translation, particularly when dealing with sensitive materials such as legal documents, promotional content, confidential stuff, and materials for marginalized communities. However, we also encounter some challenges in this particular project that we are presenting here. While the study demonstrates, or we think it demonstrates, the overall effectiveness of service-based learning in translation education, it also reveals some challenges that students faced during the course. 30% of the students reported difficulties when working with ambiguous or incomplete source materials. Instructors also identified a need for more structured guidance, managing client relationships and ensuring that professional standards were upheld throughout the process. Few students noted that while they were confident in their linguistic abilities, they sometimes struggled with the dynamics of client communication. One of the anonymous, so to say, members of the staff, professors in uni acting out as a client, one instructor, mentioned that the students could benefit from more in-depth gaining and on negotiating feedback, managing difficult client interactions, and responding to ambiguous requests, which goes into the idea that um, translation curricula need to include and foster pragmatic competence. Additionally, while the students enjoyed the real world, so to say, aspect of the course, the pressure of meeting deadlines and client expectations proved challenging for some. About 25%, a quarter of the students noted that managing time effectively while balancing the translation work with other academic responsibility was a common struggle. We also want to talk about the students' perception of their own professional growth and personal growth, because that seems to be one of the unexpected outcomes of this project. Beyond academic and professional development, students reported significant personal growth during the course. In the post-test survey, 82% of the students reported feeling more ethically responsible as translators, noting that the course allowed them to reflect on broader impact of the work beyond linguistic accuracy. Students also expressed a stronger commitment to social responsibility and awareness of the power of translation in shaping public discourse. The overall impact of this project, the integration of service-based learning into translation training proved to be, in our opinion, a highly effective pedagogical model. The majority of the students showed a significant improvement in translation accuracy, cultural competence, professional skill, and ethical awareness. Now, I would like to wrap up my presentation by offering a few key conclusive elements and ideas. We think these study demonstrate that there seems to be room for improvement and implementing service-based learning into translation and training, which could provide significant benefits for students, both academically and professionally. Through the engagement with real-world projects, such as translation materials from local non-profit organizations, communities, initiatives, and government bodies, materials that we can gather from the internet, students demonstrated notable improvement in key areas. The overwhelmingly majority of students reported better accuracy in terminology selection and increased understanding of cultural nuances and enhanced abilities to adapt translation for different audiences and different contexts. The positive outcomes of this project in translation skills and preparing them for real-world professional demands seems to be undeniable. By incorporating service-based learning into translation programs, educators can foster a more holistic learning environment that not only equips students with the technical skills needed for successful communication, but also promotes a broad understanding of translation societal impact. In conclusion, to wrap up this presentation, this research, we hope and we guess this research underscores the value of service-based learning in translation education. Future students, in our opinion, could examine the long-term impacts of this methodology in their career trajectories and explore the feasibility of incorporating service-based learning into other areas of language education beyond translation training to maximize its benefits across various fields. The findings that we presented, divided in different blocks here, provide compelling evidence for the continued adoption of service-based learning as a key pedagogical tool in the development of competent, socially responsible, and culturally aware translation. Many, many thanks for the attention paid to my participation in this Congress. I remain open to any possible questions. Again, I would like to say a huge thank you to the organizers of this Congress. So, to say, I remain open to any possible questions.